All right, guys, we're going to read the article and we're going to follow the annotation directions below. The reading directions are to click on the link below to read along with me. Or if you'd like to change the reading level, you can. You can go to Newsela and you can find this and you can change the reading level. But you can follow along with me. In order to get credit for this, I need to see that you are annotating 5 to 8 annotations and highlighting examples of oppression and persecution. And these annotations need to be in the form of a comment, and you need to identify it as an oppressor or a persecutor. Identify it as oppression or persecution. I'll show you how that should look. First, because we are going to be doing this a lot, I want you to practice highlighting the author red, highlighting the title blue, highlighting the date, highlighting the title green, highlighting the date blue, and highlighting any extra information purple. Go ahead and do that now. Also, it's good annotation practice. All right, so remember we are looking for oppression and persecution. And then we're also adding a comment, and it doesn't have to be an intense comment, it just needs to say oppression or persecution. All right, I'll give you one example of how to do that on here. I guess a variety of ways, but let's get started. The source here, this was written by various Newsela staff members. It is The Rise of Adolf Hitler and World War II, published on History.com on February 22nd, 2017. World War II was the most destructive war in human history. Lasting from 1939 to 1945, it engulfed the globe and resulted in the death of millions of people. During this time, another horror was taking place in Europe. It was called the Holocaust. The Holocaust was the mass murder of 6 million Jews by German Nazis. Jews are followers of the religion of Judaism. As an example, I noticed that the Holocaust was the mass murder of 6 million Jews by German Nazis. I'm going to highlight that. And you can either put in a comment like this, so highlight it again, sorry. You're going to right click and you can add a comment. It'll pop up a little box like this and you can say oppression, and then you would hit comment like this, and you would see that there's a comment that pops up. Or you can put it in parentheses like that. It's your choice. Jews are followers of the religion of Judaism. Millions of people from other groups also were caught and killed by the Nazis. They included Roma, sometimes negatively called gypsies, and people with disabilities. Jews, though, were the Nazis' main targets and victims. Adolf Hitler was a powerful leader in Germany and the Nazi Party. To him and his followers, Jews were a lower race of people and a danger to German society. Once he came to power in 1933, he began turning his hateful ideas into deadly action. Adolf's rise to power. Anti-Jewish bigotry. Notice here that bigotry is bolded. Off to the side, we've defined it for you as strongly or unfairly disliking other people, ideas, or religion. Remember, this was also a word of the day in Lit Lab. Anti-Jewish bigotry and discrimination had roots in Europe long before the rise of Hitler. Followers of the Jewish religion were often seen as strange, outsiders by their Christian neighbors, and in many places the suspicion and hatred took the form of racism. Racism is a dislike for people because of their skin color, culture, or where they come from. Why Adolf Hitler hated Jewish people so intensely is unclear. He served in the German army in World War I, which lasted from 1914 to 1918. Germany's defeat in the war left the country poor and weak. Hitler and people like him blamed the Jews for Germany's downfall. The more than 100,000 German Jews fought for their country. After the war, Hitler joined a political group that became known as the Nazi Party. He was jailed in 1923 for plotting against the government. In prison, he wrote a book called Mein Kampf, which means My Struggle in English. In the book, he predicted another great war. He said Germany needed to seize, or to take back, more land for its people. He also argued for the elimination of all of the Jews in Germany. Many Germans were still upset about the troubles they faced after World War I. Following his release from prison in 1924, Hitler used their despair and anger to recruit followers. Under his leadership, the Nazi Party grew. They went from a small political group to a powerful one, and in 1933, he was chosen for the top post of the German government. A year later, he named himself Führer, Germany's supreme ruler. Huge Nazi marches and rallies were staged to show off the Führer's power. This is a picture showing a meeting of the Nazi Party. Nazis begin persecuting the Jews. In March of 1933, the Nazis opened a prison camp near the town of Dachau. Special police, called the Gestapo, hunted down Nazi opponents. They filled Dachau with anybody who opposed them, and by July, camps like the one at Dachau held more than 27,000 prisoners. In 1933, there were about 525,000 Jews in Germany. The Nazis began persecuting them. They fired Jews from government positions and forced Jewish businesses to close. In 1935, the Nazis passed anti-Jewish laws that took away many of their freedoms. Jews were constantly bullied. One night in November of 1938, Nazi gangs went on a rampage. They burned Jewish synagogues, which is a building that's used for Jewish religious services, their buildings of worship. They smashed the windows of Jewish businesses, littering the streets with glass. It has become known as the Night of Broken Glass, or Kristallnacht in German. Between 1933 and 1939, thousands of Jews left Germany if they could. Those who stayed lived in constant fear. Here's a picture showing destruction of Jewish businesses after Kristallnacht. World War II starts. In September of 1939, the German army invaded Poland. The attack marked the beginning of World War II. German forces made thousands of Polish Jews leave their homes and sent them to ghettos in Polish cities. There they were trapped behind high walls and barbed wire. That fall, Nazi officials also began a program to kill Germans with disabilities. They planned to use a poisonous gas to murder these individuals. Some religious leaders in Germany protested, but this program continued in secret. These murders served as practice for the Holocaust. Remember, you will need 5 to 8 annotations telling me if it is oppression or persecution. If you are confused about the difference, please look back up at the top for the definitions. I'm going to pause us there, click on the next video to explain what independent practice is.